Smooth 98.1 here. We are gone past 6:30 and it is Business Express for a Wednesday morning. At Rotus, we're going to be talking airports. Airports in Lagos is going to be an interesting one. So welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers. Good morning to everybody out there.
All right, Lagos, Nigeria, world, wherever it is you are listening or viewing from, remember, you can always join the conversation if you're watching us live up on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. All you have to do is leave your comments on the live stream. If you're listening, you can send WhatsApp messages to 0809 440 981 and use the +234 if you're sending the messages from abroad. You can also take it to Twitter and tag us at smooth981FM as you use the hashtag businessexpress981. So, Rotus, Lagos has gotten a nod for a new airport.
This is good news, Shokwe. It's I guess, a new airport is to be celebrated. Although the idea that Lagos had to get permission from the federal government, I think we still have to look at that. That's still something
we definitely have to look at that.
Where the federal government has to give you permission to go and build your own airport. What? I mean, you should be allowed to build what you want. If it fails, it fails. It's on you. It's on your budget and so on. So that's another.
And once again, we need to look at the people coming in for 2023 who are going to be talking about decentralization and how exactly they are going to go about doing it. But
exactly.
That's the topic, a conversation for another day.
So Shokwe, the thing is, I don't know. Maybe I should even, before I even talk, maybe I should get your thoughts. Shokwe, do we need another airport in Lagos? Do you think what's your? I mean, this is good in terms of jobs and blah blah blah. You hire more people, but do we need another airport? Is that what Lagos should be looking at?
In my opinion, more airports are good because, people have more choice. The airlines have more choice. However, do we have enough traffic to sustain another airport?
I was looking at the data, and that's what I was trying to look up right now. So the Bureau of Statistics showed that, and look, this data is impacted by COVID because COVID 2020 passenger traffic reduced.
And no one was flying.
Yeah. Right, nobody was flying. So it's probably better to look at 2019. I'm still trying to look it up. All I know is that for, if I remember this correctly, international travel, I think we had about 1.5 million travelers in 2020. It jumped to 2 point something, if I remember correctly. It was a jump, but the total number of passengers was like 2 million or so. Domestic, we had about, I think it was 13 million in 2020. It jumped to like 14 or 15 million or so. So domestic travelers, double digits, still a lot. But international travelers, Shopware, the numbers are not that high for the number of traffic we have. And
this is an airport that's supposed to cater to 5 million passengers annually, right?
You see that number, Shokwe? Look, now, whenever people throw out these numbers, I start to raise my... Where did they get 5 billion? Who told them that they're going to get 5... Okay, wait, does it... 5 million diverted from elsewhere? That is people who don't want to travel all the way to Ikeja, because this is Lekki Ekpe, and there'll be a lot of business around the Dangote refinery, I guess, and the other businesses situated there. So maybe they can hit that number, but just looking strictly at international travel and the number of international travelers that we have, I don't know. And when I think about Lagos and I think about the issue, what's my biggest issue with Lagos? We live here. What's your biggest? For me, it's traffic and crime. Those are my two issues. I can say electricity, but that's everybody. It's not as if every state can generate its own electricity on its own. So, my two biggest issues with Lagos are traffic and crime. What's yours? Do you have any issues with Lagos?
So my biggest issue is always going to be traffic. This thing does not sleep. Any time of the day, 4 o'clock in the morning, I can meet traffic. I'm scared to go out. And it's not because of crime, by the way, because at least with crime, you can sometimes target, and be like, I'm going to be in a safe place. But with traffic, you never know when it's going to appear. Exactly. You just don't know when or where.
So if you were governor and I'm your deputy, or I'm governor and you're my deputy, if we're running Lagos, is a new airport, when I think about the citizens of Lagos, and please, our listeners should chime in. If you're driving right now, if you're a Lagosian, please chime in. And I really want to hear from our listeners.
Yes, please.
What is the issue? Yeah. So when I think about the issues that Lagos has, is an airport, is that the biggest project I should be embarking on right now? Should I not be thinking about a coastal road that can decongest Lekki? Because this is supposed to be situated at Lekki Epe. So can I not think of a coastal road that will decongest traffic? Can I not think of using that money I'm going to use for an airport for improving the waterways so that more people have, more options to travel around the state? Should I not maybe invest that money? Yeah.
Right. I know, like, the emphasis has been on roads for all of this, but looking at public transport, I love that you brought up waterways. I would love to see a fantastic metro system on ground, because it's so much easier to just get to a stop near your house, get on the metro, and go to where you're going. I don't want to be driving.
Thank you. Bless you. I didn't want to say it first. I wanted it to come from you. We've been on this metro line now since I think for, I don't know, 40 years, or I don't know how many years. We've been on it. They said it to come. I think they said it to come last quarter of this year. Now they've pushed it to, I think it's supposed to, some skeletal operations should start late this year, I think. I have to look it up again. Or is it early? They've been pushing it back and pushing it back. That metro line would have done so much for this city in terms of decongesting traffic and reducing the amount of cars. Every other major city, there's London, for instance, has been making a lot of noise about how it's trying to get more public transportation on the roads, because the more buses you have, theoretically, the less people are driving their cars. And so they want to decongest. Many cities want to decongest and reduce the amount of people that are driving. Meanwhile, ours is the opposite. So look,
don't worry, international airports. Don't you worry about that. Those roads are going to be decongested. You don't know that the petrol price is going to go up? Exactly. That's going to cost you so much. You're not going to be driving anywhere.
Right. So, right. That's a good point. That's a very good point. If subsidy is removed, right? So there's that point. But I don't know. I mean, a Lekki Airport theoretically makes sense. You don't have to go all the way to Ikeja now. You can go in the opposite direction. But then, you just wonder whether between the new refinery that's there and all the other business going there, plus you now add an airport, I get what they're trying to do. There's a lot of opportunities in terms of infrastructure, again, to create jobs, people working there. The airlines have another option, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we've got messages. Let me tell you what the people know and what they're asking, what they're saying. Benga Kamu says, talking about jobs. Governor Wike of Rivers State just created over 14,000 jobs. Are they sustainable jobs that will add value to the state? That's debatable, but they are jobs anyway. Linking that to the airport questions. He also goes on to say, politicians like big projects, like building an airport, like the proposed one in Lekki, but then how many jobs will be created by the project? But still, another road into Lekki is yet to be built. This one from Danny says, we actually do not need an airport. We like wasting money. That's all. Yinka says, my greatest worry in Lagos is traffic, then an affordable mortgage for normal people, not the 20% down payment of 24 million naira. Oh, thank you for this. God bless you, Yinka. And then spread the remainder over 18 months type of suicide that they call mortgage that we have around here. I've never seen this before. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's so easy. Just make a down payment of 20 million, then pay the rest in 12 months and we'll give you 5 million off. Pay it in 18 months, we'll give you 2 million off. It's like, okay. It's just
thank you.
I've never seen anything like that. He goes on to say, so you think the airport is good news? Well, that's debatable. He goes on to say, I know folks that live on the island that don't ever come to the mainland, and the only reason you see them on the mainland is the airport. Now, an airport on the island, I've said this before, Yinka, you're so right. An airport on the island effectively divides Lagos in two. It's just a matter before we start getting visas or gate pass into island for work. I said this, Rotus, if there is an airport in Lekki on the island side of life, I think that divide is just going to be permanent. There'll be like a giant gate in the middle of the bridge.
So someone made a joke that Lekki will secede from Lagos and become its own hub once again. because they will have to deal with it.
Rotus, you've seen like we have even the weather differentiates, you know. There's rain on the mainland, there's no rain on the island, there's rain on the island, mainland is sunny.
Exactly.
We've got more. Matthew Afolabi says, is the red line rail system not meant to ease traffic? And I don't see the airports in Lekki as an issue. Whilst Ike Moore says, Rotus, your emphasis on traffic is because you are a normal person that stays in traffic. The people who should be concerned use police convoys to bulldoze their way through the thick traffic congestion. Whilst engineer Oris says, you will agree with me that the Murtala Mohammed International Airport is now congested and far from the center of, is it congested? Okay. And is far from the center of action at the moment because there is a new Lagos, the Eko Atlantic City, Lekki Free Trade Zone. The refinery, the road networks around Ekpe and many other development projects, meaning Lagos needs this airport like yesterday. That's another angle. Thank you for that. Whilst Gilbert Musa from Festac says on the proposed new airport in Ibejuleki, well, it's a brilliant idea, but let's ask ourselves the status of the previous airports, both local and international in Lagos. Have both met international standards in terms of state-of-the-art modern infrastructure? Do we have other means of transportation like rail and waterways to first decongest traffic in Lagos? And Rotus, the messages keep coming in, but do we want to go to another story or keep with the
just to add, you can keep going with the message. Just real quick, you know, we President Buhari commissioned a new international wing for Murtala Mohammed. That was in March. Apparently, it is not being patronized by airlines because they got the architecture wrong. Apparently, the apron or whatever they call it does not support wide body planes.
Yeah.
So. And that new wing is, I don't want to say it's like you're having a new airport, but it's a new terminal. They said it was going to get 14 million or so passengers and so on. So, you know, I don't know, Shokwa, you can keep reading messages. I just wanted to add that. That was all I wanted to add. Again, it's a good idea, but, you know, is that what Lagos needs right now when we think about, you know, and I feel someone told me this is for elites, you know, this is for, you know, wealthy people. Someone just mentioned Eko Atlantic and all these other things. So I know I'm still struggling a bit, but you know, again, I'm just thinking jobs and the other parts. Maybe that works.
Rosa, let me read this message from YouTube from Emeka Egbochukwu, who says, how the think tank must have done it. List out all the pending issues, rank according to importance, and in brackets, this is a major step in the process. Then click sort by lowest to highest, then pick what's at the top. Emeka, I love it. Let's see, who else do we have? Funshaw says the airport at Lekki access is overdue. Imagine going from Lekki to Ikeja for a flight. We need it. Government will improve in transportation. All right, Funshaw.
Okay.
And this one from Kelvin says, is it the same congested Shangotedo Awoyaya road that will lead to the new airports? This government, why not fix the deplorable roads currently a torture to all residents of that area? And I think Yinka Bolu sent another one. He says, secede is the word, period. And also, how do you get the design architecture of an airport wrong? It baffles me. I hope they haven't been paid. The Lekki airport makes the claim for a new state a valid one. Let's start thinking of a name. Wow, you guys, so quick, so quick. Okay, then. And I think that's all we can take because we've come to the end of the show. But yeah, thank you so much for sending in all of your messages and just sharing about that airport. So, you know.
Well, yeah, interesting times. I celebrate new infrastructure, but then I don't question that priority joke from Mecca on YouTube. And thanks to everybody for their messages. That's he's got something there. So I don't know. We'll see how it works. We'll see how it all works out.
And Yeka has come in with well, he's leading the name change. He says Atlantic States.
Aha. Okay.
There you go. We'll now have Lagos State and Atlantic State. Okay, good to know. All right, Rotus, thank you. Make sure you go find him up on social media. He is on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Well, actually, are you on Instagram? At
I am. Same
yes, you are. At Rotanquote, go find him. Find him on TV. Find him live tweeting. Find him on Instagram. Find him at Rotanquote. Okay, Rotus, I shall see you tomorrow for another business experiment.